Am I live? It should be live. People deluded, I'm back again. Thank you very much for tuning back in. And especially one love to everyone who's listening to this at this moment in time, because you might get to see a rerun of it on YouTube. But while it's being live streamed, I appreciate you because you've obviously listened to me and either followed or subscribed to my Twitch account. Do so if you haven't already. Deluded Gooner it is. Make sure you're subscribing via Amazon Prime. Make sure you're subscribing already. Make sure you're getting your opinions in, talking points, all of that good stuff in. So I appreciate everybody who's listening. I appreciate everyone who's listening on the rerun. As I said, Twitch, we're going to have to, for the next few months or so, we're going to have to, YouTube is YouTube, Twitch is Twitch, but they're going to interlap. And as I said, I'm beginning to build up the Twitch. The goal to 1,000 followers is already there. We're at 800 and some change. Let's keep moving, people on that topic. Watch parties, watch alongs, exclusive content to Twitch. There's going to be, as I said, some exclusive watch alongs, some watch parties, Q&As, more of these transfer things, just about everything and anything, people. So please make sure you're supporting the thing. And as I said, people, I've even begun the process of thinking. And what was I going to say as well before that comment, which I'm going to get into from Pumpkin put me off. I've actually forgot Pumpkin. Yeah, idiot, man. But he said, who's this lad with a hat? I went outside to do something. It was hot. Very quickly after coming off the live stream with Curtis Shaw, and I've just left the hat on. It feels comfortable, people. So shout out to all the Twitch gang. As I said, we're building this thing up now, man. We've made our bed. We're gonna have to lie in it. So shout out to everyone who's following and whatnot. Pumpkin, I think you're the only Don that's here, man. It's a bit of, no one likes to be too early to the rave and things. And like I said, we're trying to build this, so we have to be prepared. A shout, hey, there's 3 of us now. We're moving mad. There's 3 of us. Big up yourself, S. I hope you're doing well and safe. Pumpkin, I hope you're doing well and safe. I hope you're doing well. Early doors. Subscribe with Amazon Prime for free to support the guy. Like he said there, man, hit that up. Do what you need to do, people, and get all the talking points and those sort of things in, man. I'll give you a couple of moments to arrive, and then we'll kick off with Lukaku. In fact, because it's right there, really, and indirectly that could affect Arsenal with Martinez. Obviously, you've got Aouar, which I've seen that news there coming out. So we'll get into all of that sort of stuff, people, in due course. And shout to you as well, S, because I've been following your advice and doing a specific, the YouTube stories and that to notify people. I think what I need to do is do a specific video and let you lot know why you need to hit up the Twitch and to hit up the Twitch, because you don't take heed of things, and certain people need it right in their face. Pause in that regard. So it is what it is. I can't lie, man. Grealish, he's the background, because City, it's not fair, is it really, if they get Jack Grealish? Let me see if there's any other transfer news and those sort of things up there as well. First things first, in fact, let me make another. We'll kick off actually with this, man. Just to allow people to. Certain things are starting to arrive. Sorry, people. I'm just more transfer news is coming up. More things for us to speak about and that, man. Sorry, I'm just making sure I've got all the tabs ready. But there was one thing I wanted to speak about first, because there's very few things that are more important to football, and I believe fully that this is one of those people. So yeah, man. Love Jack, but those poses are hilarious. Trust me, Jack's killing me. To be fair, it's photoshopped, but yeah, well, it's not me who did it. I saw it online. So shout out to the guy who created it. If I could give you credit, I would. So it is what it is, man. Aouar would be a great signing, in my opinion. I share that with you, man. I think Aouar would be a very good signing for Arsenal, but whether it happens or not is completely different. So yeah, man, if you allow me to share my screen with you guys very quickly, you can see it for yourself. When you look at it, very few things, as I said, are more important than football. This being one of them. Christian Eriksen, Inter Milan midfielder, returns to the club for the first time since cardiac arrest. Christian Eriksen visited Inter Milan's training ground on Wednesday, meeting teammates and new manager Simeone Inzaghi. The midfielder is still obviously taking part in recovery, and is obviously the midfielder's recovery is to be managed by the Danish doctors. As you lot know, sadly, the 29-year-old collapsed on the pitch after suffering a cardiac arrest, and it's upsetting. I don't want to go over it because it's upsetting, and it's lovely that he's on the mend, but we've got to remember, a man's 29. You know, you're in your prime. He's 29. As a footballer, you're getting on a bit. As a human being, bro, you're at one of your most sporting, or just sporting is not the right word, just physical excellence and sort of things. As you get older, it gets a bit mad. Like you said, great news in relation to that, man. And it's only right that I feel, obviously, just because the Danish doctors are managing it doesn't mean that, you know, other people aren't going to tend to him things. But I like the fact that they're managing his recovery and all of those sort of things, because, you know, it can be a bit daunting. I mean, medical stuff is daunting to everyone that's not a medical man, and sometimes you don't know who's doing the right and wrong thing. So at least the way the Danish doctors have handled him, they've been doing what they need to do. So it makes sense. It makes sense. And as I said, fundamentally, the first thing is that the man's got his life. You know, forget football. The man's got his life. He's 29. I'm sure he has kids. I'm sure he's got a mother. I'm sure he's got a sister. I'm sure he's got people who are the girlfriend, people depending on him, and all of those sort of things. And he's just a young man. 29 is too early to go. And especially doing something that you love. Obviously, I'm not happy that he had this, but I think, you know, it's a good thing that it happened now, and it's had the story ending that we've had, in that obviously it's changed his life, but the man's still alive and maybe even able to play football. And that in a sense of, it couldn't, he might have never had that cardiac arrest, and then he could have just been sleeping one time and never woken up, touch wood, because, you know, it is one of them. Like, I remember in school, it's not the same, but they were talking about diabetes, and one guy went, "Oh, I've got them symptoms," and lo and behold, he's got diabetes. Obviously, if that went on unchecked, it could get a bit mad. So, you know, it's better to stop it now than when it could have been a bit more fatal and things, because, you know, you got to remember, Christian Eriksen's a professional footballer. Like, he's one of the, you know, one of the top athletes there are. Obviously, Inter Milan, all these clubs, they've got more medical stuff than I can ever comprehend. So I'd imagine there is heart checks and all of those sort of things. So the fact that it might have been passed or somehow it's not been picked up is what scares me, because, you know, surely with the way they do research and the way they monitor these players and things and their physical stuff, they tell them how much they weigh, you know, how much they've run, you know, heartbeats per second, all those mad things. Maybe there could have been something there, or it might have been bypassed. He might have just been excellent and this has just happened. Obviously, he's been fitted with a defibrillator. I can't say the word, but, you know, it's going to... Oh, frozen. Am I back? What the hell? I think Google Chrome is crashing, people. So give me a second. I'm going to close the browser and reopen up everything. You know, I think it's frozen. I think it's actually a browser issue now, because I actually done some research on it. So I'm just going to finish up what I said, and then I'm going to quickly delete this and come back, sort of thing, people. As I said, you know, the man's got his life in it, but fundamentally, you know, apparently Christian Eriksen is in excellent physical and mental shape after the midfielder visited the club's training ground for the first time since his cardiac arrest, in June. Allegedly, you know, allegedly, the what's going on there is, yeah, like I said, it's acting. So you know what, I'll cut it there. He's doing the right thing. Let me refresh this. It's happening there. What the hell is going on here, bro? Yeah, as you can see, Google Chrome hating on the guy, in it. Google Chrome just hating on the guy. After this, I can't lie. You know what? Where's my pen and paper, man? This shit can't persist, because I spent all night looking at what could actually be the issue, and it's found this, and it's now this, bro. Just as bad as YouTube, 100%. Like, where's my pen now? Man's got a paper but no pen. I had a pen up here. Sorry, folks. As I tell you, look, note to self: new browser. Because I did bare process of elimination, internet, the PC, the rest of it. You know, I made sure that I cleared the cache, deleted things. Obviously, the videos when you're cutting them up takes a lot, but we should be all good. Apologies for the technical difficulties. And as I said, fundamentally, you know, we can laugh and joke about that, but fundamentally, it's good that Ericsson still has his life, still able to continue and do what he needs to do. And we're hoping that football can carry on for the man. Like, let me scroll down. Apparently, Inter added that their medical team would be kept informed of the midfielder's progress. So obviously, he's not out of the woods yet. You know, whether he'll play football again, I don't know, but let's take it how it goes. So shout out to Christian Eriksen for that. I'm not going to go over it as well, people. But you know, shout out to Bukayo Saka for returning to training. Please get your questions in and all of those sort of things, people. Please make sure you're updating me on anything that's going on in the transfer world, because obviously we're back again with some nonsense. For fuck's sake, you can't use Safari, so that's ruled that out. Fuck, you know, I have to take my hat off, man. I thought this was gonna be a chill day. What is that? Man said Brave. So I'm gonna download Brave right now, man. Let's download Brave right now. Because it's scaring me, man. Business is scaring me. Especially as we try to lock this down. This can't put Brave. This Brave thing is scary, bro, because it's saying select what kind of chip your Mac comes with. I don't know if it's got Intel or an Apple chip. It must have an Apple chip, right? Hey, man, let me cool off from that. Firefox could be a shout. We'll get into all of that, man. But yeah, sorry, man. I've been airing you lot because the internet was starting to play. I say internet, Google Chrome. It's nothing to do with my net. You know, as you saw, being on Curtis Shaw's in the live stream prior. Back to normal now. Firefox, you know, Brave and Firefox will grab that. My boy who does crypto told me about Brave. It will sort out all the cookies and BS trackers, all the media websites, bog the computer down with. Crazy. Didn't realize this was going to be Twitch only. I can't say your name because your name's a bit mad, didn't it? But King, just make sure you're aware in it, because there's going to be a lot of Twitch content strictly in it. Like, we're going to start making transfers there a thing and all the rest of it, because again, I can't stream on both. So big up to everyone that's locked in. Please make sure you're subscribing and the rest of it. There's no like button to hit, as C pointed out, but you know, do what you need to do. And you lot, you know, let me take a second before we carry on. You know what? Let me go into the Twitch manager. You know, I'm making sure some of you, Pumpkin, you have to become a moderator as well, because you love to banter me, but you're a cool guy. If it will let me scroll down to the mod bit. That's one mod, because we might as well start early, man. Who else is always here? Does it let you scroll up the comments? Yes, it does. Paul Harpy, where's your name? Prince, you should be a mod, but let's just make sure. Right, you're not a mod. You are now. Done you dirty there. S, you should be a mod. I'm sure I did your thing. J, just because you're a cool guy, you're a mod. Modded. Who else we got? Because I know once this gets to where we need it to get, the trolls are coming, man. You know, so I'm all these people that are locked in. I appreciate everybody. Who else is there? Well, it is what it is. Let's get back into business, man. Pumpkin down, man. I need you on the team, man. Calm down with all of that, man. Big up you lot, though. I'll definitely get the brave thing. I'll definitely do the brave thing, man. Appreciate that, Pumpkin. Share the stream and subscribe, people. Big up to everyone, you know. Obviously, you lot are the real DG Nation. Everyone just wants to be here, you know, when the final product is there. We're building this from the bottom, people. And FM content tomorrow for what it's worth as well. I know I keep capping. I'm not capping no more. While I haven't decided on the time and things, I will stream FM. I will do it. Again, it's not 100. Me doing it's going to be 100%, but in the sense of, it's not going to be 30 from the start. We're going to have to learn a lot. But I think I'm making too many excuses in that. I think the only thing I need to do today is try and download a legit, you know, the player licenses, just because I think it will look a bit better if we, you know, it's actually got the Arsenal badge and all of these sort of things, and, you know, that. And then we're going, man. We'll do a little mess around one first until the windows close, and then we'll do a proper one. So it is what it is, man. Man says, I remember waiting on a cold Sunday night wondering where's DG. K Swift, you defo are a mod. You defo are a mod. If you're not, let's pattern that, man. You defo should be. If you're not a mod, trust me, you're a mod. Trust me. You remember being here from the jump, man. Where's everyone else? The only thing I don't like about Twitch, and I'm starting to understand it now, you know, when I click on one of you lot's usernames, it's like opens up some mad stuff. Like, I'm just trying to make sure I don't miss out anyone, people. Hey, Jay, I recognize that username. Big up Jay for being in the building. Mod that. Is he not nice? I recognize that. You should have the mod, but no harm in checking. Mod that. See, you should be a mod as well. If you're not, comment and let me check your one. Bloody hell, blood. But yeah, big up to everyone. Now let's keep cracking on, man. Assuming everything is blessed and good, man. What are you lot saying, man? Just before we crack back on, hopefully everything's cool. I was really comfy with my hat on, really and truly. You know, I actually need to get a haircut this week because we got presentation for the club and that. You know, we won the title. But I think we can get back into normal now. There's a lot of 9F commands and mod view things to pattern up still. Bro, you lot are going to have to educate me. Tino, I know you've been doing very well in that, and I'm going to need your help for a lot of that sort of stuff, man, because I barely understand YouTube, and we've been doing that for a number of years. Twitch don't make no sense to me, man. No sense, people. You know, everything's good on your end. Like I said, technical difficulties at the start, but we go again. We go again. We go again. Are you planning on switching to Twitch or doing YouTube as well? Well, at the moment, YouTube is the breadwinner, but you get me, like, a couple things have been done with Twitch. That's why I'm literally contracted. I have to, you know, Twitch, YouTube. You know, I can this will be uploaded 24 hours later, this live stream for YouTube, but has to be on that. So, you know, I'm wherever the bread's at. I'll be real with you lot because YouTube's the breadwinner. That's what we've been doing. But the same way they're moving the goalposts, and you'd be an idiot not to. And I think Twitch has got potential still. And, you know, you lot know me. I've been streaming on Twitch for, I won't say a while, but a little minute. There's been a little minute where I've been bigging up the Twitch gang, and then we've been a bit more aggressive with it. We're gonna have to move to this sort of thing. Do you get it? Like, there's gonna be individual, like I said, Q&As, transfer business, you know, all of these. We're gonna have to have some exclusive sort of stuff. Do you get it? Because, yeah, man, you know, we need to, and it makes sense. And Twitch seemed to be a bit more nicer with how they're distributing the funds and all of those sort of things. These man are not the same. YouTube it's not sustainable. And the quicker we diversify the income, the quicker we really have some Sky Sports businesses and whatnot, man. Prince, how do you know I haven't? Not the Rants thing, but you know, Rants is on the bad thing. Them man, they are Champions League. Shout out to Rants, but you get me, couple things. You get me? Let's see how these months go and then see what we can do in it. But I need you lot to support it and grab it and keep subscribing and doing all of those sort of things, man. Exactly, Paul. It is what it is. Everybody will understand that. Getting us the peas, bro. The more money that comes into this DG thing, the more improvements and them things we make. Simple as that, really, you know. Bosses get paid last, man. Twitch partner soon. I need an average of 75 viewers. So see, it could happen. It could happen. But boy, let's run before we can walk in it. Let's get the name going. Let's make some noise first and then see where we are. Let me make sure you're actually a moderator. Oh my god, you're not. Thanks for commenting though. Modded. So again, I'm doing what Arteta and Arsenal failed to do. I'm actually building an 11. Like, we're signing players and getting things done. Simple as that. So shout out to everyone. So yeah, that's what's going on. You know, a man said mods for everyone. What? Hello, DG. How's your day been? Big up, human being. It's been good, my guy. You know, I'm with you lot now, which I'm happy to do. You know, I was with my guy Curtis on his channel. Make sure you're subscribing to Curtis and checking out his YouTube channel and that. It was a good show with him, as it always is. You know, prior to that, I was live with you lot. Prior to that, yeah, man, I woke up early. I sent out a couple emails. I made my list of things to do, which I get. Well, you don't want to be able to see, but I kind of go out bunks the day and just, because I think it makes you more productive when you list everything you got to do and you start Xing things out. But there's still one, two other things to do. So it's progressing. I feel the weeks are going quick since I've been doing this full time. This week has gone quick. Today has gone quick. The time has gone quick. Like, what? It's 4:20 over here in the UK. I recognize a lot of you are, you know, different time zones. It's still early. It's even later where you lot are, but I can only talk on my situation, in it. So yeah, man. I'm tinted red glasses on YouTube. Appreciate that, my guy. Appreciate that. Yeah, let me know, obviously, if you've got another username, car. I don't want to think like I'm talking to two different people and it's the same guy. You lot on some Batman superhero sort of stuff, man. First, get your questions in and all those sort of things. Do you have emotes for the members on YouTube, DG? Yeah, I do. Well, the members on YouTube have emojis and stuff. I don't know about Twitch and how to do them sort of things there. Hydro, I appreciate that, man. And you've also got a question. How do you feel about the midfielders now XHAKA is staying? I think we can make that a timestamp, man. Because obviously we can't with the other one. What should I call it? How do I feel about midfield options with XHAKA staying? And for me, my guy, obviously I might as well just share my Google sheet because I'm someone who likes to write down my thoughts, and I feel to give you the answer I want to give you, I need to be able to articulate my thoughts on some paper. So ignore the timestamps. But if we go, you said midfielders, right? AFC midfielders. I'm not convinced because for me, the number 8 is needed more. Like where is it? Where is it gone? Oh, sorry. I think I shared the screen. I got rid of the screen, but I need to go to tactical. What's that tactical board thing? Let's go to this tactical board thing for you lot. Quickly, people. Obviously, this was from big up to everyone that was in my Arsenal Chelsea review because that's where it was making sense. But away from that, I'm not happy because obviously for me, if we're listing out our 11 now, and just because I want to make it a bit more obvious, I just want to have the midfield in a different color. So let me quickly do this. I'll even make the goalkeeper the same color. Some dodgy TV. How can the goalie have the same kit as the outfielders? But anyways, so that's 4. Obviously, you've got your 3 midfielders, I want to say. And to exaggerate my point, I think you need to slap a Smith Rowe, whoever there. And then, yeah, man. And then obviously the front 3, again, putting them in gold or yellow. Again, I must be a bit colorblind. I actually don't know what color this is. But for me, I'm not convinced, man. This middle of the park, bro. Like Smith Rowe is only as good as these lots' ability to play the ball forward. So again, as you lot see, for me, I want people who always want the ball. I'm not going to do it to scale, but if you could imagine another team chasing, in fact, better yet, I want players that want the ball. So like, make you lot a bit closer, man, because I appreciate it's a bit scatty. And let's make these lot blue. So like what? Striker. Should we try it with a 4-4-2? In fact, it's easier with a midfield 3 just to paint what I'm going to say to you. So, or 4-2-3-1. So let's just say 2. And then the man there got their, their goalie. Sorry, people. I had no plan to do this. Absolutely no plan to bring out a tactics board. But you know me, if it can make it a bit easier, I will. I don't know what all these lines and that do, so I'm not going to click none of that in case something happens to the illustration. But for me, all of us, our players can play when no one's pressing. Suddenly, when you've got an aggressive striker, when you've got the 10 following, the winger should be doing the same. The midfield, should be doing the same, and so on and so forth. And to paint that naturally, we're playing out from the back in it. Man have to want the ball. I don't think enough players here trust each other. Obviously, you can't play to someone that's pressed, but I don't think, these lot need to realize, if we're going to be a possession-based team, we have to become press resistant. People are going to clock onto that and start pressing us. And I think when teams give us time and space, if these lot were to sit off, we can play. But I just think when we need to trust each other, some of them are not levels. Players don't trust each other. And I think that happened with Chelsea. Now highlighting the midfield because they're red for a reason. Now they don't just stay like that. If I can throw a blanket on the midfield, which you probably could the way they are, there's an issue there. In reality, you're going to see, I don't know. XHAKA's got a lot of problems, but his problem is not what I want to speak about. His problem is different. But for me, it's bravery, and that's one thing I'll give him. So let's go with respect, no scapegoating, but El Nene now, right? The midfield, this is why we can criticize Arsenal's attackers not scoring and these sort of things, but they're only as good as they have to pull it out in it. Because if I'm a striker like Aubameyang, I ain't scored 20 league goals. I'm not saying it's because of my teammates, but same way you're only as good as the service. And my problem with Arsenal's midfield is I don't know what it is. We're not mad defensive. We're not crazy attacking. We ain't got mad technicians. It's existing, and our ability to attack, our ability to defend is affected by our midfield, amongst other things. Obviously, if we're playing out from the back, I said again, XHAKA is one, but El Nene will drop. El Nene hasn't got the ability, or pardon my language, the balls to want to hit his strikers. I'm not saying don't play it safe sometimes, but he's going safe and safe and safe. And suddenly, obviously, if they're pressing us and my man's playing it safe, he's either going to give my man a hospital pass, they're going to be dispossessed, and the other team's going to go and have an effort, or it's just going to go what typically happens, backwards, sideways, until Leno says, you know what, F that, let's go long. Typically, we're playing against a more physical side, or like you saw against Chelsea, a back three, which I'm not going to show you. But if they win these individual battles, it's just going to come right back to them. So naturally, what do you see with people that are limited on the ball? Smith Rowe has to go. And sometimes you have to do this in a game anyways. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Make sure you're subscribing. Oi, Joe, shout out to you. We're going to get onto Lukaku in a sec. Don't think I've aired you, my guy. But getting back to this, naturally, what are you going to do as a midfielder? Now, for me, I want my man to be able to stay up here so he can link up with them. But once again, my man has to be able to hit him. It's easy for me to show it to you because no one's pressing them, but it's very difficult when people are pressing, so you have to trust each other. You have to know where your other teammates are. Stop popping it around. That's what happens, sort of thing. But putting them back, what happens there is El Nene will look at you and not pass it. So Smith Rowe has to go, you know what, man, I'm going to buzz around here, man, I'm going to buzz around here, but I have to drop. Now, you got El Nene there, you got Smith Rowe, like you saw against Chelsea, turning on it here. And at times you have to do that anyways. But you're out of the game now. Your other midfielder who's Partey's on the next thing as well, not doing anything right or wrong, but he's there. Now your attackers are out the game. So what do you see? You see the wingers drop. Your strikers who are not hold-up men, they're dropping. Then the other team says, why is our line so high? Let's get further up the field, sort of thing. And then suddenly you've got a terrible cocktail, which means we cannot get out. Now, obviously, the catch-22 of that is you've got XHAKA who can play ball, but he's very slow and rigid. And suddenly, when that move happens, you've got to be able to play it. And he has got the ability to do it, but he'll wait until it's cut off. And that's the thing. That's one of the terrible cocktails we have as a football club. So if I remove that and look at our midfielders, I don't really think I'd prefer, better yet, going back to this, I hear it that we need a Smith Rowe sort of guy, a guy that can play in the 10 and things like that. But for me, I would I'd think you get more of a change out of, finding a number 8 or someone that's able to play here, someone that's able to just get the ball turned, play a bad boy pass. And let me move these out the way, someone, obviously, for me as well, confidence, because sometimes you're going to try that. A byproduct of playing out from the back, there's going to be times we're just going to do calamitous stuff. Like they're going to be dispossessed and the opposition's going to score. They're going to give it away. These are occupational hazards. Obviously, we do it more so than others. That's not an occupational hazard. That's just for us simply bad habits. But for me, if you get a man with Partey who can, it's abundantly clear, Partey, you can pass and my man has to defend. But my job is to be that box-to-box composing figure. Your job is to spread it and you're able to just get it. Things that can be done in 2 touches. Give me the ball, Leno. Turn. Boom. Smith Rowe doesn't have to. He can drop deep sometimes to do the little 1-2s and other people make runs and exploit the space he's vacated. But he can stay up there and say, give it to me between the lines. You've got your winger might just make a next run. Aubameyang might just clock it. Stay with me. Aubameyang might just clock what's going on. So he's hit it straight away. Bang into Smith Rowe. And then we have an effort. Or my man might just say, Smith Rowe, I don't even need you. Boom. Into the channel, Aubameyang's there. Now, if Aubameyang misses, there is a problem, But obviously, our midfield is not levels. They don't trust themselves. Partey's got injury issues. El Nene's too safe. XHAKA can do it, and it kind of runs through him, but he's got issues. Lokonga, I back Lokonga all the way, and I love the signing of Lokonga, but he's a young man. We don't need to place unnecessary expectations on him because we don't know his true level, and he just needs to adapt. We all know with new signings, them first 6 months are not necessarily make or break, but they're the toughest. For me, we don't know what I think he's got the mentality, but he's got to be braced for that culture shock, like Pepe was, like everybody was. So for me, I don't believe in our midfield options purely because you've got a plan of when anything can go wrong, what happens in it. So for me, if XHAKA isn't there, what is a pivot now based on the existing options we have, not focusing on Smith Rowe, focusing on the 2 men behind him. The only ones that I'm keen to see, I'm keen to see Partey when fit and Lokonga. I think that could be a good one. Ideally, I want to more see that in games like when we played Man United away, where we're trying to do the defensive thing and all of that. That's one. Obviously, naturally, best of a bad bunch. You've got to be looking at, again, with giving scope for him to develop, you probably are going to see that, obviously, because of Partey's injury against Brentford, there could be something of those lines. Long term, I want Smith Rowe to have the ability to play here. And, El Nene, yeah, bro. El Nene. I'm not really. There's many pivots you could do with him in it, but I'm not really trying to do any of that unless it's a cup game. I don't think El Nene should be featuring into this. Now, obviously, you've got Joe. I've purposely not done anything with Joe or Maitland because I don't know what's going on with their careers and things like that. I know Maddison can play in the 8, so then you have the scope to play Partey at Maddison or Lokonga and Maddison. I do think if in the unlikely event, in my opinion, that we did sign Maddison, I think he's going to play as a 10 at least for the first year or so at Arsenal. Obviously, there's a case of a 4-3-3, but I don't really believe it. There's not enough in there to go with a flat midfield 3. You'd have to force Smith Rowe into it because Lokonga, Partey, and XHAKA. Lokonga can pass, Partey can pass, XHAKA can pass, but it's not enough creativity for me. So a flat midfield 3, unless we're trying to defend, is going to be long. But that's a great start to this, man. So I actually don't know where we started. So you know what? I'm just going to say minute 20 to minute. Let's say minute 21. I'll review it later, man. I know we had some technical difficulties. So I'm just going to go with that. And for me, that's what scares me because surely, like you already know, I don't need to bring the tactical board again. Everything runs through XHAKA, innit? Everything runs through XHAKA. So it scares me that you had to be finding someone that can do all of that, and suddenly what's gone on there? Because now he's staying. Are you gonna go for the number 10 to ease the workload on Smith Rowe and compete with him? I'm not too sure. Obviously, when you talk about playing out from the back, you know, you need your keeper to be able to be good on the ball. Your defenders need to be good on the ball. You know, there needs to be movement, which there isn't always from our front three. There's many other variables, but fundamentally, I think the issues will be with your midfielders because I don't think there's a single defender at Arsenal who isn't necessarily brave in possession. Whether that borders onto stupidity is another thing. But I think the last guy who was probably, it weren't that Socrates wasn't good with a ball at his feet, but he was basic with it. Like he would rather, like he's more of an old school defender. All the others have calamities, but I don't even like the word comfortable, but they want the ball to feet in it. They want to play. David Luiz, etc. He's not here anymore, but you get the point. So that's how I feel about our options, really. If at a push, I would rather a 10, an 8 than a 10, an 8.5, as I call it, because you know you very rarely see these Smith Rowes, these Odegaards, these Mesut Ozils, these organic 10s. And as I said, if we're gonna bet on Smith Rowe, you need to get this guy anyway so that you can get the best out of him. And they need to work very hard defensively because I want him to mash work and press, but you want him to be in little pockets where he can link up with people and make forward runs and ultimately get goals and assists and influence the game and hurt people in this end. So you've got to double down on your creative men. If I don't think Arsenal are going to do that. And I just think the more modern day men are in the midfield. You know, of course, you've got a little Bruno Fernandes who I think should be able to play here, but I wouldn't play him in a pivot. He's a free roaming goal scoring thing. You don't really see that. So I would rather an 8. I would rather it. If he can get goals and assists, cool. But I just want him at a minimum to just be able to dictate the tempo of the game. Give me the ball. Let me spray it. You know, I'm not gonna, spray it. Hold on to it. Let's try and harm them when we're playing a low block. Let's try and play some killer passes. You know, if Tierney's made a run, and then whoever's playing left wing has made some diversion run, have we got a man to just spot that and be able to play it with crisp precision? Because XHAKA needs 100 years to do that. El Nene will look at you pre the situation and not do it. You know, and I'd rather you do it and make the mistake. Of course, I'll talk about it, but I'd rather you do it and make the mistake, man. So there's a lot of issues, man. We'll have to see what happens in that regards, man. But very interesting question. Very good way to kick things off, man. We were meant to, well, we'll get into Lukaku. I see a couple questions are all here and that, well, talking points and that. So just before we crack on, I don't want to miss anything. Big up to everyone that's locked in as well. You should transfer over emotes for people who sub on Twitch. We'll get on that. Write that down. Transfer emotes from YT to Twitch. Let's put that as a ongoing one. Put that circle thing around there. I wonder if football training is still happening today at 7:30 still. But sorry, people. I was talking to myself there. But yeah, man, there you have it. I love Saka and Smith Rowe. I don't think we can only rely on them week in, week out. TT, 100%. You know, it's unhealthy. They're two young kids, really and truly. And it's commendable what they're doing. But You know, they're literally, whether they're at it or not, when they should just be focused on ironically doing what they've been doing and just being consistent. You know, our results shouldn't pander towards two homegrown kids. While it's commendable for them, it speaks volumes of where we are as a football club and what we're doing and why we shouldn't be doing this, man. Leno's distribution makes it harder. It's like the midfield doesn't trust each other, but Leno is naive and expects El Nene / XHAKA to spin a guy pressing them. Exactly. You've got him doing them things. You've got, you know, midfielders getting caught, not looking over their shoulders. You've got, like you lot all know, there's not one single variable. I think fundamentally it's with the midfield, but there's many little side things that there's issues with, as you lot have expertly put. Lokonga played that ballsy pass, a good amount of balls forward, but he's young and we still need a solid 8. Mac, you said it. There's something to work with Lokonga. He wants to play it forward. He wants to place the ball forward, but we need to work with him when to do it. Because being at the Emirates, I'm not going to lie to you, Bellerin made the mistake. But you got to look at the process, and Lokonga was part of it, even though it's Bellerin's mistake. And I do feel the first couple of minutes Lokonga came on, he was moving booky, like he was getting caught in possession, looking to the ref to blow. Again, this ain't anything to critique him. This is what I expect of an early 20-year-old that's, you know, played only a real handful amount of times for Anderlecht. You know, obviously, you know, there's a good built a foundation, but I expect that. It's down to us to work with him. You know, it's just like, and the problem with us, there's a lot of these players that we need to work with, and we ain't been working with the experienced players. So let's bet, you might as well just bet on the Lokongas and things like that, and Smith Rose and whatnot. At least they've got some promise. At least you think in theory, if they make a mistake, they're going to learn from it. Certain man been making mistakes for years, and they've been given new deals for such. He looks a talent, man. Let's let him develop and do his thing, but he undoubtedly does look a talent. And for me, I'm happy with that. I think he's got potential. I'm not here to say he can be this, that, and the third, but I like him, man. I think there's something there. I think we should get Ndidi and loan Odegaard with an option to buy or obligation. And we should get Ndidi. He's going to cost a pretty penny. And I don't think, I like Ndidi, but I don't think he's good enough on the ball at this moment in time, really. People made fun of Mertesacker. I take him right now. Boy, this is where we at, man. Bro, I'd rather play Torreira than both of them. You know, XHAKA is better at building than Torreira. I can't lie. But apart from that, I would. But, you know, at least they kind of want to be here, quote unquote. Lokonga and Partey is the best balance. It is for me, but you probably lose a lot, you know. As much as I like Lokonga offering the forward passes and Partey offering it, when you're suddenly demanding that them lot are the progressive passes, you're in trouble. Because for me, Lokonga and Partey, you man are box-to-box midfielders / ball-winning midfielders / whatever. Anything you do is a bonus. And I think at Arsenal, these lines get blurred. But you're right. It is the best balance, in my opinion. It probably, in Arteta's eyes, it's probably Partey and XHAKA, just because they've played with each other a lot of times. You know, El Nene and Partey is probably by default by that same logic. But yeah, man, Lokonga and Partey is what I would want to see, because, you know, you got big bro, little bro sort of thing. You know, both can play a ball. You know, it's just we don't really know Lokonga's levels because we ain't seen him for 10 games in an Arsenal shirt, and Partey's got injury concerns and all of these sort of things. So we'll have to see. It ain't coming. A right back is definitely needed 100%. Sorry, let me make another timestamp if it is, you know. I don't know, if I'm completely honest with you. I don't know. I really don't. I don't have a clue in relation to it, because it all depends on outgoings now at this moment. You know, based on what I'm told, you know, if you in an ideal world, I would say what? You know, in an ideal world, you know what? If 8, 10, right back, goalkeeper, striker, if all the other variables, selling players, etc. So I'd say 5. I would hope for 5. Realistically, you know, I mean, other just a step below, but hopeful, I'd say 10, 8, right back, and goalkeeper. Minimum now, what I'm starting to think realistically, I think goalkeeper in a 10, personally, maybe goalkeeper 10, striker. I would be very disappointed if at least two doesn't arrive. And that, what I mean by that is a right back and a midfielder of some sorts. I hear what we need, a striker and things, but I do think we could see for another year. It might prove costly, but if Aubameyang and Laka and these guys can solve it, I do think there's more pressing areas. Like for me, priority is the middle of that park and right back, because with signing a right back, we can finally shut up about defensive stuff now. Like, get on and do with it. Midfield, you pattern up midfield, then we move closer. No matter what, we can't escape revamping this midfield. And I'm keen to see what Arteta does. Obviously, XHAKA staying flips what we may or may not have tried to do in the market on its head. But I'd think 2 minimum, hopeful for at least 5. But I think we're signing a striker? Probably not. I don't think we're gonna sign a right back purely because you're looking at moving on Bellerin. You know, Chambers will stay. You're looking at moving on Bellerin, whether that's people are able to do that or not. Cedric's going to be given another chance. So you've got Chambers, Cedric, and bringing the next man. I don't know what's happening with Maitland-Niles. I think he'll be sold, but you don't actually know. So they might say that. I think you'll see a 10. Goalkeeper, they surely have to bring someone in, really. I don't know what's been flipped on its scales with Leno and now saying he wants to stay. That's one thing that really annoys me. It's like the club are just really doing other work, but hoping that these players say they want to stay, where we should allow people to go if they want to go, if that's legitimately what they wanted. But yeah, man, I think at least 2. I hope at least 2. It is what it is. In relation to Romeo Lukaku, though, and again, as I said, in relation to Lukaku, I personally think that's why Arsenal are more likely to get Tammy than Martinez. Of course, I hope we get Martinez, but I cannot see a team that's just won a league title in Italy, don't do that too many times away from Juventus. Going into the Champions League, attempting to retain it after selling a right back who was key to them. They surely won't sell their 2 strikers, where when you look around, there wasn't even too many. There's not too many examples of a good strike force. There's examples of a good front 3, but actual 2-man up, 2 strikers, or any variation of that isn't really seen widespread in football nowadays. I think they wanted to sell Martinez a bit more because, with the Barca links, they were resigned to the fact. I think they more want to keep hold of Lukaku personally, but Chelsea seem to be forcing out the boat. And apparently Fabrizio Romano said there was never actually a bid for Haaland. We'll never actually know. I can't begrudge Chelsea for going for Lukaku. I do personally think in a couple of seasons, they will look for another striker, whether that's Haaland or someone else, purely because it's not that Lukaku won't score goals. They need someone who puts the ball in the back of the net. Lukaku can do that, and his general play has improved. I just think, provided Thomas Tuchel is there for a significant period of time, I don't really, Lukaku works and his general plays improved as we've seen, but I don't really think he's that striker. They need someone that can put a ball in the back of the net, but I don't think he will last long under Thomas Tuchel. I literally think if they bought him in and Thomas Tuchel was there for a 4-year period, which is almost unheard of at Chelsea, I think they sign another striker, purely because I think what Werner does for their system is exactly what Tuchel does. It's just wants and demands, and I don't think Lukaku can do that because he's not the same guy. He can put in a shift though. Werner obviously doesn't score goals, so he's not there. I think, it's almost the reverse for Lukaku, but they need a striker. Unless you're going to scout and do due diligence, there isn't too many obvious striking candidates. There's Zapata at Atalanta, there's Lukaku. Obviously, Lukaku didn't really get a fair crack at things at Chelsea, so there's unfinished business. Wages at 28, I'm sure because of the financial situations both teams find their way in, you could get a decent payday at Chelsea as well. Obviously, they're the European champions, like they kind of was when you was around there before. So if you're going to leave a league title winners, we better to join than some European champions, and you've got a free hit at it. And you've got nothing, in my opinion. Lukaku's got nothing to prove in the Premier League because he's shown what he has. But there are certain people that like to mock Lukaku and things like that. It did seem like he's got a healthy situation over there at Inter Milan. They love him, way of life, look good. But with Conte leaving and things, there's something to think of. The situation is changing, and you don't want to be the last one left, sort of thing. Kind of like, you don't want to be the last one left. You don't want to be the last one to leave a burning building, do you? Really and truly, you want to jump out and get out and survive. The last one doesn't really have, the odds aren't really good there, with respect. And what I mean by that is Conte's gone, Hakimi's gone, Martinez can go. Obviously, additions could be made, but you get it. But for what it's worth, Inter Milan rejected Chelsea's bid. And for me, I think we're getting Tammy over Martinez because I think it will be a domino effect. They'll confirm a fee of around 90 something for Lukaku. They'll make a little change of Tammy. You've heard that 40 million. Apparently, they dropped it to 30. Decrease the sort of payment there. And it is what it is. I think we'll get them and they'll do what they want, really. Haaland's clearly unattainable. I have wondered why, considering they want less for Martinez, and I think he's got greater longevity, and I think he's got a lot of potential. I was wondering when and if Chelsea would turn their brain towards Martinez or turn their heads towards Martinez. But yeah, who knows? There is a world both could go, but I think that's the issue. For me, Chelsea getting Lukaku, he's going to score goals, in it. Like, he scores goals and his general play has improved. I'm not saying he can't do it. I just don't know if it's a fit. Now, I don't know if Thomas Tuchel's going to be there a long time, because such is life. You could win the European Championship and then get palmed off. But for what it's worth, Inter have rejected a bid for Lukaku. Now, there's talk of Chelsea going back in with another one, and apparently Chelsea tried to include Marcus Alonso as part of the deal, people. Should we refresh this thing and see if there's anything? Don't think the Telegraph is going to work, people. But as you look and see here, Lukaku will agree to Chelsea move if they meet Inter Milan's valuation. And what can he say, people? You know, if the club want to sell you, Lukaku says, you know what, I might have liked it here, but if you want to sell, man, it is what it is. And it could be second time lucky for Chelsea, or third time lucky, in that he was there, didn't really have much things to do at Stamford Bridge. You know, they tried to get him when he went United. It seemed like there was a change of heart. He went to United, and now it's third time lucky sort of thing. Apparently United could profit if Chelsea, if he does return to Chelsea. And like I said, you've got to be real, you know, at 28 years of age, and he always makes, you know, he tells you he come from poverty and things. I'm not gonna lie, 12.8 million wage package at 28 or something. For me, I'm not gonna sit here and cap. And European champions and Thomas Tuchel, he could learn a lot of things with, and Chelsea are probably gonna improve. And you've got Lukaku, and you've been at this club already, so you know there's London spots and everything. It's a no-brainer for me. Like I said, you've just won a league title. You don't want to be the last one to leave. Like, clearly, Inter are gonna one day have to rebuild that thing, and it must be frustrating for their fans. But apparently, Chelsea are ready to double his wages, people. That would see him paid around 250k a week, people. And apparently, they've already seen an 88 million pound bid plus a player rejected. The Italian club are determined not to sell the 28-year-old, and Lukaku has such a good relationship with new coach Simeone Inzaghi that the Inter boss has been running his transfer plans for the summer past the Belgium star. So, boy, is he going to be there or not? Inter want more than 105 million for their key striker before they even start to begin thinking about any deal. Boy, so, you know, it's a good financial package for everyone, potentially. You know, 105 million for them, good piece for Lukaku to earn. For Chelsea, you get a striker in it. But Chelsea are banking on the fact that the Serie A club have financial problems and could be forced into a sale. Lukaku has so far snubbed any Chelsea offer, even though he has listened. It is believed that in the end, the final decision will now come down to the player, who, as you know, spent 3 years. So for me, I think he wants to stay, but you know, I've never been a footballer, but surely if a team is trying to sell you or they said you're going, surely you don't want to be a guy going, please, I don't want to leave. Surely I'm just like, cool, you man don't want me no more. Whether it's not that we clearly know it's not that they don't want him. They need to make bread because of their situation. But I'll be like, cool, like, man, can't hang around like no bad smell. Apparently, they have turned to their former player after having no success in their attempt to sign Haaland, people. As you lot know, Tammy seems to be able to be up for sale. Olivier Giroud went to AC Milan. So, yeah, it is what it is in that regards. But listen, Arsenal, we need to get, if you are on Martinez, get it done before this Lukaku thing, because I don't think they're selling both. Who knows? Money talks, BS walks. So we'll have to see. But that's what I feel. Please make sure you're subscribed and all of those sort of things if you're not already. Because that's what I believe, and I think it's a good timestamp. So yeah, is what it is. Big up to you lot, man. Still disappointed not to see us sign any right back. I get that part of the issue is Bellerin not leaving, but we need improvement. Fact. Another poll up, people. What poll? The moderators do that? Well, yeah, that's another thing I don't get with Twitch, to be fair. Lukaku would take the mick at Chelsea. I would move if I was him. Inzaghi doesn't convince me. Facts. But also, we need to remember it's a World Cup year as well. You know, there's something to be said in stability. Every move in these sort of periods is a risk, because if you have a good thing going for you at one club, you know, the international team is looking at you. You go to another club, the manager's using you a bit funky. It's not working out. You might, only certain players might risk not going to a competition. So it is a big risk. Same like with Lokonga. You know, obviously this is to boost your profile a bit because he's been on the standby list. You come and show your business for Arsenal, something could happen. Maddison has been called up to the England squad at Leicester, but he thinks moving to Arsenal can benefit. So is it a big club bias? Is it? I don't know, but that is something to also consider, man. But a great point nonetheless, man. Shout out to you lot. This is why I love being here. You lot say sensible-ish. Who's the best partnership for Willock if we gave him a chance? Oof. Probably a new guy, the new guy really. But I think in theory, I think Partey and him would be all right. We've seen Xhaka and Joe, to be fair. Lokonga and Partey, Lokonga and Joe, sorry, I think would be good, but it obviously very young and naive, and that's probably one you see in the cup. But yeah, man, I'd probably say a new guy first and foremost, because I'm not convinced on any of the partnerships. I think Joe would look better in a flat three. If you had the 8.5, you can dictate and get goals. You've got Joe Willock doing up box to box. You've got Partey doing up box to box and putting a foot in, and or any other things loosely like that. It'd be a good option. This is why I don't write off Joe, man, at all. Big up Wavy E, man. Midfield is the most important thing we need to address. It will improve us defensively and going forward 100%. But I would say on top of that, the mentality of these players, because tactics, all of these things go out the window if you can't mentally pattern yourself. I've set a poll up, get voting, people. Big up you lot for voting, man. Keep doing them things there, man. You see, Prince, you're gonna get the captain ban for the moderators. I like that. You took charge. This year needs to be about Martinelli getting more chances. We don't need another striker this season. I'm not going to lie, Paul, I agree still. For me, it's Project Martinelli, but the way the more senior strikers are moving, if a situation becomes available, I'm trying to do it. But I hear you. For me, it's Project Martinelli. That is my third choice striker, assuming Lacazette and Aubameyang are here, with the aim to dislodge them. Because by the end of the year, I kind of want to see a front three and believe in them. I would love to see Martinelli, Saka, Pepe, Smith Rowe behind them. Obviously, Balogun, if he could do his thing as well. Big up, DG. First time I've managed to catch you on Twitch. Big up from down under. Appreciate you, Bert, man. Appreciate all the Aussies locked in and everyone from every damn country in this world. I appreciate you lot. Make sure you've hit the subscribe if you haven't. In relation to what I feel about the strikers, Aya said it's like when Batshuayi went to Dortmund, Aubameyang went to Arsenal, and Giroud went to Chelsea. Them sort of things there. Don't really want Abraham either. Already have a young striker talent plus Martinelli / Balogun. Tired of signing Chelsea rejects. To be fair, I'm not against Tammy. There's longevity. I do think he could be a good option for the squad. I do think he can improve. There is resale value there. I don't think he'll be a bad signing. The problem for me is he doesn't significantly improve us at this current moment in time on the 4th of August, 2021. And for me as well, we've already got too many players that we need to work with and develop, and we're going to add more to it. I know Saliba's gone on loan, but since Saliba was signed, you ain't really seen significant improvement in an Arsenal shirt under him because it hasn't happened. The Guendouzi and Torreira ones, something went wrong. We still need to work with Martinelli, with Balogun, with Smith Rowe, with Saka, even with Pepe, to be fair with you. Ben White and Gabriel, significantly more experienced than some of them, still very young. One season in the Premier League where Ben White's concerned, despite everything he's done so far. Gabriel, just really started playing in the last 18 months, 2 years or so at Lille before someone took a chance. I'd say 18 months. We need to work with these sort of guys. Tavares is a squad player. You got to work with him. Lokonga's coming. You got to work with him. These guys are spoken of all very varied levels of having potential to do things in the game. But we've got to work with them really and truly. So for me to add more guys to that, yeah, I'm not going to be against Tammy, but you ain't really Martinelli as well. You ain't really working with what you've got so far. So why add more to the pack to get it? So I feel you, Balogun as well. You're 100% right, man. Facts, and more facts. What should I call that timestamp? What should we call it? I would not mind Tammy. Sorry for shaking the screen, people. Don't agree with us, and the keyword is straight away, man. You're 23, you might be a bad boy at 26 or whatever, but because I look at Tammy, for a big man, he can't header. For a big man, he can't hold it. And for a striker, he's way too reactive. I'm not trying to criticize him. This is just what I see with Tammy. He scores goals, but he's too reactive. Immediately, you need to work on that with Tammy. And we need to Martinelli needs to be taught how to play up front. As much as I believe in, he's got to learn. If I try and play with my back to goal and these lot of physical powerhouses, how do I react to it? Kind of what you saw against West Brom. But I want to see, obviously, we're not going to end the season and everyone's doing a madness, but I want to see significant progress or just some clarity, man. over what we're doing with certain man. Willock can't be starting for Arsenal respectfully. True. I set a poll on which striker will Chelsea sign this summer. I can't lie to you. Look, where do I see the poll? Like, ah. Weekly gifters. I just pressed some gift button. I don't know what happened there. If someone got a gift or whatever. Oh no. Well, I don't know what's going on there, man. Let me stop clicking stuff. Just mashing up things. Don't even understand Twitch and you're going on like you know it. Circle yourself. Subscribe as well, like my guy S has reminded you. We have a lot of projects in our first 11 and squad. Exactly that. Where do you think we'll finish this season with our current team? I can't see us getting no higher than 10th, bro. I hope we can do better than that. But unless the mentality changes, new personnel is brought in, it's gonna be more of the same, really, really and truly, isn't it? Really, if I'm completely honest with you. We need to get into Jack Grealish as well, people. Let's get into Jack Grealish. 55 minutes in. Jack Grealish to Man City is the talk of the town. Allegedly, he was considering staying, and now he wants to leave. And I'm sure you can't begrudge him. He's never going to make everyone happy. It's a difficult decision, you know. Brum lad, captain in Villa, played in the FA Cup with Villa, playing in the Premier League, captain is good. But you know what you don't want to do. That's everyone wants you at 25. What you don't want to do is at 35 think, should I have moved? Because all you'll get is a testimonial, a handshake, and then the next Jack Grealish will be all the bee's knees and whatnot. Because let's be honest, that's what it is. How many club legends have we seen at a point a madness happens to them? Look how XHAKA was done by Jose Mourinho and Real Madrid, and he might have had offers to go elsewhere. You don't want any regrets in your career. And for someone like Grealish, respectfully to Villa, he deserves to be playing Premier League football, Champions League football, and playing for a team that's fighting for the league and things like that, because he's one of the best players in the league, with respect to them. And to be fair, they've done a lot for him. He's done a lot. Academy guys making 100 million. I think the offer starts with 70 and then all variables takes it to 100. That's a fantastic story. And they're linked with Buendia. They've brought in Leon Bailey. Well, they brought in Buendia and Leon Bailey. They're linked with Ward-Prowse. They're still linked with Tammy. They're trying to make signings. Of course, no one's going to be of the level of Jack Grealish, and it resets them, and they'll have to buy a couple. But it is coming. It has been coming, and it is what it is in my opinion. Apparently, even here in Aston Villa are looking at what's his face, man. Are looking at Todd Cantwell, and again, they've worked with them before. Who knows? Let me put this over here. Aston Villa seem to be the talk of the town right now, really and truly. If I share my screen with you guys, people, as you lot can see, Manchester City, and apparently, if they think this could be announced today / this week, Man City closing in on signing Jack Grealish for 100 million from Aston Villa. This was 2 hours ago, people. So there's probably been some development. Manchester City are closing in on 100 million signing of Aston Villa skipper Jack Grealish. A deal could be concluded in time for the midfielder to play in the Community Shield against Leicester City on Saturday. I think I'll be doing a watch along for that. The move for the 25-year-old would make it a British record. The fee for him would surpass the 89 million United obviously paid to get Pogba back from Juventus after letting him leave for free. Grealish is set to make the move after returning to pre-season training with Aston Villa. So yeah, his tactic hasn't quite been Harry Kane's, people. Obviously, he signed a 5-year deal last September, and the fact that he hasn't put in a transfer request means he's still going to get all of that money he's entitled to. Because as you know, you put in a transfer request, you're not entitled to the whole loyalty bonus, and there's other variables that go with it that fans don't typically see. That's why it takes. It's not. I don't think people make a more of a scene as it should for a player to hand in a transfer request, because that means you're foregoing a lot financially. If he signed this 5-year deal and handed in a transfer request now, he's not entitled to that loyalty bonus for that contract. Where again, I'm no agent, but I'm sure he is for that Villa contract when he goes and does his thing at City. As you lot know, City made their first move for him at the end of last week, following a number of conversations with Villa by lodging a bid. So I think Villa knew this could happen. It did look like he could stay and be doing what they're doing, but they had to consider this. And crucially, I won't say it's never perfect timing, but you've got good time to find a replacement / people to fill that void as much as you can. This is very different from doing it on the deadline day. This again, Harry Kane's one, I don't know. The speed could improve if Grealish is confirmed, but it seems like that one there is going to drag out. And for Spurs, they're in dangerous territory. The longer you drag that out, the longer you might not get a replacement unless you're going to be proactive and bring one in. Allegedly, Guardiola believes Grealish's creativity can offer an extra attacking dimension to what is already one of the most potent attacking units in the English game. They got 83 goals last season in the league, 10 more than the second highest goal scorers, Man United. But yeah, and there's talk of Grealish being used in an 8, in a 10, more so the 10 with the 8, with Gundogan. So we'll have to see. He can do a lot, man. We know he's a boyhood fan. We know he's had a brief loan spell at Notts County. We know they've announced they've announced Leon Bailey. So what we should do is just clip this all up really and truly. Leon Bailey, who I think best in the league for me now. J.A. Tug, best in the league. Signed him for 25 million. Had a decent season last year. I did think in general he went off the boil a bit. But I'm happy to see him in the league, people, because obviously his nationality, he's an exciting player, and I want to see him shell it down for Villa because it's an exciting club to play for. It's a big club. It's an exciting project that they're doing because I know Grealish has set it back. But for me, if I'm hearing Villa are trying to grab Ward-Prowse, if I'm hearing Buendia's being linked with European guys and he was linked with Arsenal and we got him, they're doing serious things. They're not just trying to be in the Prem for the sake of it. I think indirectly they're trying to do what Leicester's doing in that they're trying to set the foundations and then go off and do things and try and do what Leicester's doing and winning the league. And, more so I'd say qualifying for Europe and things like that. I'm happy to see him. He's an exciting player. He's actually flexible. He can play in the back three at fullback as well. Dean Smith allegedly said Leon is a hugely exciting young striker with great pace and creativity. Come on, hey, bring the signing. And, you don't need to play his song whenever he scores, man, because the guy's a baller. It's simple as that. He becomes their third signing after Buendia and Ashley Young. Ashley Young will be for me, a big signing off the field, Inter Milan, United, been there before, character. Apparently, Bailey said, for me, it's a great club with a big history and it's the right step for me. I'm excited to get started. It's always been somewhere that I wanted to play. I feel like now is the right time and I'm excited about it. Hopefully, I can do what I do best and have a great season in the Premier League. And, obviously, I'm going to see the bromance, with him and Raheem Sterling. I'm not sure how far Brom actually is from Manchester, but I'm sure the footballers can make it work. And Aston Villa, you might as well buy Bobby Reed as well, man. Really and truly, just make it a clean sweep. Give. I don't know if you can actually hear me now. Apologies. They might as well give Thingy a free deal as well. Sign up Wes Morgan as well, folks. So it is what it is in that regards. So I'm frozen, but this isn't. So yeah, I think we're back. I hope we're back. Or if we're back, I don't know what's going on, but we're changing browsers after this. Allegedly, Aston Villa are expected to pursue their interest in Norwich midfielder Todd Cantwell should Jack Grealish's transfer to Manchester City be finalised. So yeah, that's gonna be a big signing for them people. Cantwell's entered the final year of his contract, although Norwich do have the option to extend it for a further year. So it will take big money for them, in my opinion, to sell Grealish. I mean, to sell Todd Cantwell, because I'm saying, yeah, I know you bought Buendia, but you know how we work. We know you just got that £100 million bag. We know you just tried to grab Ward-Prowse and that. We need some peas. What would you lot say is a fair price for Cantwell? For me, I'd say about 20-25, and clearly he's rated highly more than that. I don't think he's really stood out. I think he's a good player, very good technically, but I think he's got to really have the standout sort of show, which we might see in the Prem before I really would want to do that, really. So I'd say about 20, maybe 25, probably 30. So, all right, cool, there's scope to grow. But other than that, bro, Willock would be a good signer for Villa. And to be fair, signed for Villa in my football manager save. So, yeah. Villa, it will never be Jack Grealish, but some clubs, a certain club like us, that's not us, in North London, you can spunk certain money, that you're given when you're, certain people didn't spend the bail money properly. So at least with Villa, you get the vibe. They have a plan. They get a vibe where they might be weaker, but we can find some other players that tie up some loose ends in this squad. And for me, you've got Bailey. Hopefully, I hope to God Bailey hits the ground running. I like Buendia and I'm excited to see what happens with him. And obviously, they're smart as well, because if Bailey fulfills some of that potential and obviously Buendia fulfills some of that potential, some of them man are going to get moves to, follow on with obviously what you've seen happen. So it is what it is, man. For Grealish, he's joining a fantastic club with a fantastic manager and them things there. For Villa, I back Villa to spend that money wisely. Villa want Cantwell. That's that. You know, is there any other significant transfers? We spoke about Lukaku and them sort of things there. Other than that, it seems quite cool. She's just got pulled into a hellish work meeting and got yelled at by an old woman set to retire next week. Don't react on emotion. Obviously, if it's gone past the human stage where people are shouting at you, don't tell people to shout at you like that, but pattern it. Villa are coming for you, boy. We'll see what's going on. United, you ain't finished ahead of us too many times, though. They might be coming for you as well. Foden is gonna have more competition than he already has, bro. If you're playing for the league champions, you've got to take it in your stride. And I just think you're gonna see they're gonna be competition as all the attacking players are, but you're gonna see them link up. Like what you can play Foden on the flanks, Grealish out there, Sterling out there, all Grealish and Foden can play centrally, bro. It's gonna be Amazon. And it's exciting times if you're a City fan, man. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, is there any other transfer? Oh yeah, we've got to get into Houssem Aouar. We're not getting out of here without speaking about Houssem Aouar, people, at all. Um, let me type in Arsenal. You know me, I like to see some Arsenal business. Please, man, show me something. Show me something. You know what? There's some Arsenal business people. So let me timestamp this in a sec. Bro, yes, I like you. And it's late, man, in the day. I'm not going to do this with you, you know. Say what you want. We want it at your pitching it. So, and you, man, got the guard of honor. So whatever you lot say, you know, we did. You lot might have won the war, but we gave you lot some sleepless nights, man. What was I going to say? Sorry. Aouar. Like spell Aouar, but Aouar, Ramsdale, Maddison. Bro, Chelsea are cheating, man. They're cheating if they get Mariba. He's a baller. Listen, for me, if he's going there and not playing first team football, he's shagging himself. Personally, I think Dortmund should be trying to snake it. He's a baller. I've said it before. Pedri, him, Fatty, Gavi of Barcelona. If he develops, bro, Barcelona and Spain are going to benefit from some mad stuff in a couple of years if they're not already, personally. That's what I believe, honestly. Pardon me. Pardon me, sorry. I think Aouar totally capable of playing in the double pivot, but I will say he's paired with Gomares, who's a lot like XHAKA. I don't know if Aouar can replace XHAKA. I believe in him. Allegedly, he's taking the mick with his wage demands. We don't really know, but apparently Barcelona gave him a healthy deal, the last one he signed for his age. So I guess so, maybe with the cash injection Barcelona have received and hearing with these Spanish clubs, it might not be a thing like that again, but we'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. On that note, though, let's get into this. We've got a couple bits and pieces of Arsenal business, so I guess we can kind of crack on with some of it, people. So the first thing I'm gonna do is get over James Maddison once again. Share my screen. Hopefully, there's no problems. Just as we're getting to the end. Allegedly, Arsenal remain interested in signing Leicester midfielder. Maddison is understood to be open to the idea of joining Arsenal. Leicester want a fee in the region of 70 million for the 24-year-old. Arsenal may need to raise funds by selling players. As you lot can see, by selling players, have already spent 50 million on Ben White this summer, which is a madness. Apparently, Arsenal remain interested in James Maddison. There remain doubts as to whether Arsenal can raise the 70 million fee that Leicester would demand for the 24-year-old, with the club having already spent 50 on Ben White, because obviously, you're looking at 120 million on Ben White and James Maddison before you consider potentially 30 on Ramsdale, before you add up Lokonga and Tavares, sort of thing. And we frozen again, which is amazing. Which just at the end of this, bro, fuck's sake. What if we give 2 or 3 players plus cash? I can't lie. If you lot can still hear me, they said they didn't want that. Let me actually. Yeah, allegedly Villa said they didn't want that, my bro. So it's not gonna make much sense, bro. RIP for true, bro. One sec, let me close the browser and come back, man. The joys of YouTube, the joys of YouTube. But yeah, as I was saying, sharing my screen, yeah, man, they don't want swap deals for the guy. So it's a myth. You know, they're not trying to hear, oh, you know, Maitland Niles is worth 20 million. So, you know, that 50 plus him equals that. They're really not trying to hear that at all. So we can't go anywhere unless they genuinely want a player. Then there's not too much we could do. You know, it comes down to how creative we can be in the market. Can we structure it in such a way that they deem acceptable? You know, selling players is a possibility because rightly so, some of us would say, okay, cool. Joe Willock seems to be in high demand. While maybe people didn't want to sell him, could you get, you know, that you're hearing Newcastle are begging to pay the 22 million and they're running out of time. Can you sell him and add that to the stack? You know, could you have, yes, lost money on XHAKA, but could it have been a means to an end to get to the other side? And there's plenty other examples. You know, why has there been no significant progress with trying to move on to Rera? I know selling Bellerin is easier said than done and things like that. But this is why outgoings were important. You know, Maddison has 3 years left to run in his deal. You know, the way Leicester run their club, you'd imagine Leicester make some, you know, he has to make a decision. They're going to probably have some talks with his agent if it is to be that and say, are you staying or going? And for him, you've heard he wants to sign. Personal terms are not an issue. You know, he's open to raising his profile as a player. So there's plenty of reasons. Arteta wants him. You know, there's still a lot of development to be done because he joined, you know, Leicester as a young man and he's coming into his prime now. That's probably why you only see 27 goals in 118 appearances. Last season, didn't he have 10 assists and 11 goals or something like that in an injury season? So if you're signing him, we need to know how we're taking him to the next level. Allegedly, we're also keeping an eye on Martin Odegaard's situation. I don't know if that's in addition to Maddison or purely as a backup, but nonetheless, that is what's being said. Also, on that as well, people, again, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but apparently Arsenal consider trying to broker a double deal with the Blades. I don't really I don't read into this now. Probably you'll see the Sander Berge and Neves rumors die down ultimately because, you know, with Xhaka staying and all of those sort of things. I don't know that to be the case, but I hope it is sort of thing. Well, not even that. You know, I don't even mind Sander Berge. I'd rather Sander Berge than Ramsdale, but these guys aren't going to improve us really and truly. So yeah, again, if they're asking for 30 for Ramsdale, what the hell are they going to ask for Burge? You know, suddenly that's looking at 60. But Arsenal, I think James Shield could be remixing stuff. Arsenal could attempt to negotiate a double deal with Sheffield United for goalkeeper Aaron Ramsdale and Sander Berge after appearing to resurrect their interest in the midfielder. Um, Scrolling all the way down, people, just into the facts. We know there's been unofficial talks between middlemen between the two clubs. Apparently, Arteta's side have no intention of meeting the 40 million valuation placed on him, but they remain determined to secure his services. Apparently, Burge now is thought to be back on Arsenal's radar. Arteta's employers could attempt to broker a compromise, by offering to sign both players from United rather than just one. Again, so clearly this is just someone remixing things and stuff like that. If that plan is triggered, officials at the Emirates are thought to believe the prospect of receiving what would be a significant lump sum for a championship club might lure United to the negotiating table and help them achieve a breakthrough. But again, it would make them significantly weaker, really and truly. And I wouldn't be trying to spunk 60 million on Sander Berge and Ramsdale. I think Berge is a good player. I don't think Ramsdale's a bad goalie, but it's like valuations are a bit mad. And the thing that scares me is, do we have plan Bs? So that's being the bearer of bad news, folks. I'm actually trying to find. You know, Xhaka's close to a new move, anyways, folks. Allegedly, in better news, Houssem Aouar wants Arsenal move this month and hopes James Maddison deal falls through. Apparently, again, I think somebody's Lewis Winters being a bit of a remix guy, but long-term target Houssem Aouar reportedly wants to join the club this month. Scrolling all the way down, he wants to join Arsenal before the end of the transfer window, according to reports. We all know last season he was a massive target which we was trying to get. We know Lyon's situation after failing to qualify for the Champions League has faltered people. We know James Maddison links have been very aggressive. Apparently, the Gunners are claimed to have offered money plus a player to the Foxes in an attempt to sign Maddison. Apparently, that's not gone down well with the agents of Aouar. The scum claims Aouar's representatives have been left stunned by the progress Arsenal have made in their pursuit of Maddison. What progress to it? Because to us as fans, it doesn't come across like there's been progress, but maybe there's something. And for me, I don't really buy it. I know Maddison can play us at 8, but there's a world for you to coexist. And I think, that's like if he was to move to Barca, criticizing what they're doing or whatever. If he's trying to make a jump up, it is what it is. The situations aren't the same. And for me, if I'm Aouar's agents, that would tell me, yo, we're trying to do something serious, because Aouar can't come to Arsenal and do it alone, allegedly. So I think the journalists are being a bit crafty here. We'll have to see. We know that allegedly Aouar's asking price is 25 million euros, which for me, why are we waiting? Go and get that one done. We should have got him yesterday. As I said, I would like an 8 more than a 10, in which Aouar is. If Maddison comes, I think he plays 10 for the first year, but I would love him to be trained as that 8, because we're only going to be as good as Partey's pivot, and we're not going to see a real Partey, in my opinion. Apparently, Arsenal claim to have prepared 100k a week contract that would be the offer for Aouar. However, they are yet to make a fresh offer to Lyon for him this summer. Apparently, his representatives are still hopeful the Maddison deal will fall through and they would reopen talks to sign the Lyon star. I don't think the situations are interlapted, and I don't think these advisors are like that. I just think, the scum is being very creative in the articles they're writing, people. So it is what it is in that regards. Oh yeah, man, it is what it is. Is there any other transfer? Let me close some of these tabs, man. It's bare things open. What's that? Arsenal once again. See what happens. And there's nothing else, man. Shout out to Saka, obviously. Lovely that, he's been greeted with the positive messages. We all know he didn't deserve to be rubbed out for the color of his skin and all of those sort of things. He just missed a penalty. I know it's football, but that's literally his only crime, of missing a penalty in a mini game in football, which, there's a 50% ratio. You're either going to score or miss. He ain't killed anyone. But, the color of his skin's a crime to certain people, despite the fact that he ain't done a damn thing but represent this country with pride, just like the rest of them, whether they were white, black, whatever. The whole coaching base at England, big up to them. But as a country, we disgraced ourselves on the world's platform for what we really are. There's nothing great about this. It's just nonsense and carrying on. Sounds to me like Edu has only grilled up the burgers for Aouar. Man needs to wrap up the steaks. I'd like to give Lucas another chance if he doesn't go sell him. For me, it's listen, I'm Lucas Torreira FC, but it's do you want to be here, bro? Like, really want to be here? Not that I want to be here for 5 minutes. If you want to be here, get going in it. Because for me, I'm baffled as to how it happened with Torreira. Like, he went from being one of the signings of the season to a guy we needed for a while, to playing as a fake 10, to not being getting in the side. It was all a madness. 30 M's for Ramsdale. You got to be joking. Why getting for 30 when you can get Onana for 5 to 10? I hear that. I hear the logic in that. I really do. But if it sounds easy, we're not going to do it. Big up DG. Big up yourself, my guy. I appreciate you for tuning in. And apologies for the technical problems we've found ourselves with, man. Where are we at? I don't think there's anything else. Let me see if there's some transfer. I say transfer news, but let me see if there's anything else concerning Arsenal. If not, I'll let you lot get out of here, really. And love to everyone that's been here as well. I appreciate that, man. Let me see what's going on. No, it's still all Maddison propaganda, man. Hit us up with something else, man. Something feasible. Shout out to Saka for returning to training and all these sort of things, but it's a bit of a madness. Oh, no, I hope that's the case with our adult folks. I'm not gonna lie. For what it's worth, people. Well, in fact, we can look at that right now, man. Before we end this, really, when the show is not done. The show is not done at all. Where is it? Sorry, folks. Chris Wheatley. So yeah, when you're looking at Maddison or in relation to Maddison, folks, Chris has said, here we have it. Share my screen. Chris has said, Arsenal have offered Ainsley Maitland-Niles, Joe Willock and Nelson in talks for Maddison. For me, if I'm Leicester, they were linked with Maitland-Niles before. I'm sure Roger still has an interest. Nelson, he might be good for the squad, but I'm not being funny. Nelson's not knocking much off Maddison's price tag. I'm saying my man played 70 minutes in the league for you. Why are you trying to tell me you can bring him to this thing? I'd entertain the Joe Willock because I think he'd be a good fit for Leicester. Eddie Nketiah's name's been floated. There might be a little resale value there. Vardy's getting on a bit. I don't think he can replace Vardy clearly, but it might be someone that you could develop and whatnot. I'm only really trying to hear Joe Willock. Maybe Ainsley Maitland-Niles. They probably would listen to all four, but at least two of them names. I'm not sitting here and saying they're taking specific things there, man. So it is what it is. Ainsley Maitland-Niles I'd say, you might get a 15-20, but I'd sit there and say, he didn't pull up any trees at West Brom. Don't try and shake us. I'd try, and if I'm Arsenal, force the case of, Joe's got to be worth 20 to 25 million. Eddie's probably only worth 15, which, any of them sort of things can be significant, man. Race doesn't matter. Let's focus on football. Never, ever, 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 ever say that to me in my life again, because if you're saying that, then you're just telling us for what we are, really and truly. We're just someone to be used at your leisure. Race, we are all amazing. I wish I could sit here and just speak about football and not race, but football mirrors society. And as if you can treat someone who's put their body on the line like Rashford, delayed obviously getting surgery done. If you can, a 19-year-old who stepped up to take his only penalty in a professional game in a cup final, if you can treat them like that, what are you gonna do to an average Joe like me walking down the street? So dead all of that. You can F off out of this live chat if there's a problem. We don't have the luxury of that. I'm never going to stop talking about things just because it makes you feel comfortable, because racism isn't comfortable. Moderators, please block the individual. It's a shame because he was there. You're lucky I don't know how to block on this thing. Please block that individual because we don't need them. I'm not no gimmick. Saka's not no gimmick. We're not no toys you can put and take out of a box. You can love us. You can love the rhythm. You don't love the blues. So get out of here with that one, please, people. Shout out to everyone of all races who can understand the struggle and things like that for certain people to be accepted. Like I said, please do the business. But carrying on with all the sane people out here, people that do have common sense, people that are not trying to diminish people, and people that have the mental capacity to be part of this DG Nation thing, let's actually click on this article and see what is happening, people. Bobby Vincent, and Chris Wheatley have said, Arsenal make fresh James Maddison move as Edu looks to reduce 60 million transfer fee. You're not going to do it with these sort of guys, man. Really? Arsenal have offered 4 players in a 60 million plus cash deal for Leicester City star James Maddison. And for me, you have to assume they all want to move there, because they all probably would want to move. But, it doesn't help if you're going to go to Leicester Nelson and be a squad player and barely play. It doesn't help that Maitland-Niles' case. Eddie, you're not getting ahead of Vardy and Kelechi at this moment in time. Anything can happen. Joe, I think you'd be a good rotation option. You'd mix it up well in that squad. So we've got to assume they all want to go there. Obviously, the Midlands way of nightlife is elite. And also, I don't know. Actually, I think they've offered 2 of, they've remixed all the combinations and offered at least 1 or 2 at a time. If they've offered all 4, that's a bit crazy. And I think that's a bit unheard of. And I don't think that's the case. But the terminology being used, I don't really know what we're doing. Apparently, it's understood that Leicester are not interested in taking any of Arsenal's players. Again, someone's played 70-odd minutes. Someone didn't do a madness at West Brom. Joe Willock's done all right, but can he do it for a full season? Eddie, you're pulling. You've got to be pulling the wool over my eyes. It's not serious. If you want the player, give us 60 million. Put a 60 million hard cash down around that, and we can talk. Then we might entertain things, but they're not on this penny pinching and bright house payments. We already know Maddison is allegedly at the top of our list, and we know we're already looking at Odegaard. So I'm gonna scroll down and see if we've learned anything new. Well, the revelation has come of the players' names. We've spoken in relation to that. Where is it? So yeah, man, that's that really and truly. That one there can get thingy. So that's it essentially. That is it. Glad to hear it. Siri, what are you talking about? Glad to hear it. Trust me, even Siri's not condoning these racist idiots. Man said I will come back when it's talked about Saka. Get out of here, man. You know how many comments I used to get like that on YouTube? Oh, DJ, I like you, but you started talking about racism and stuff. So what, bro? Man, go down the street and get profiled all the time. So what are you seeing here, bro? Like, when I'm sat here speaking about football, what are you seeing here? Like, the one thing you said is we're all human and that, but if we're human, you know, just like that. They want peace, man. They want peace. Big up DG, first time catching you on Twitch. I appreciate that, man. I appreciate all the same people here, man. Bro, it's not even, I don't even want to be bigged up for being a stand-up bloke. Right is right, wrong is wrong, you know. I am not Asian or anything, you know. But if I was talking about Palestine or whatever, yeah, not that it's just Asians that should sympathize with that, but, you know, Palestinian people. But if I'm talking about Palestine, man shouldn't tell me to shut up about it. Or if I'm speaking about any sort of marginalized group or anyone being oppressed, shouldn't shut up about it. I would love to shut up about it if it wasn't happening, but it is. And that's the wickedest thing. Who was talking about race? Right. Big up you lot. That second time I've seen a raid, bro, in my whole life. Right, shout out, I remember when Arsenal did this to me, you lot, Rance is moving. Gazy, shout out my guy Rance. Bloody hell, Rance. Rance, what you doing, bro? Shout out to, make sure you man are subscribing and that Rance sent some mad things going on. Yo, I've not seen this scroll so fast, brother. Like, you lot are doing the most. Shout out to you lot, man. Big up you lot. Make sure you're hitting the sub button and that if you've been given the through ball by Rants. Come on. Shout out to Rants. Big homie and that. You lot are moving mad. What's 888 Sport, bro? You lot are moving crazy. I respect it. You see, YouTube don't do stuff like this. You get me? YouTube don't do things like this. YouTube don't bust people like this. YouTube don't play through balls like this. YouTube don't want everyone to eat like this. I told you, Twitch gang is looking certified. What is 88 Sports though? Like, tell me what the 888 Sports thing is though. Are you lot boying Arsenal for finishing 8th or whatever? Nonetheless, make sure you're hitting the follow button. I can't even bring stuff online, bro. Like, you lot are scroll. I can't, like, this thing is mad. You can't even click on the comments because you man are doing madness. You lot are doing madness. Oh, the man are just going 8. Man are bantering. What the man there sent you on the minions. Either way, you know, we've got to make a come up, man. Hit the channel, hit the like button, people, and them things. And you can't hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. I mean, you lot are not, bro, they're not affecting me. Like, I know my team finished 8th. Like, I don't know what man is trying to tell me. If you want someone to react, you probably got to hit up Matisse's thing. But I'm just happy to see you lot are arriving in them things there, man. Yeah, now I get it. I thought I was about to gas Rants. I was about to say shout out to the man. The man them got the bookies and that, putting peas in there and then I clock 888 Sport. You man are funny still. I'll give you that. DG, you've got to put us mods through a class or something. I feel like security at the Emirates just allow a man through the door with no frisk, with no touch frisk. Hey, yo, what you want to feel up next man for? It's a bit beaky and a bit spooky. Why for that, dog? But anyways, now on a serious note, you got it, man. Come on, follow up the thing, man. Bro, second raid in my life, bro. You man are just doing Mazzolinis, absolute Mazzas. Man are just running up and down, and I'm just seeing, it's cool. You know, you lot can do that. I'm trying to build up the Twitch, so make sure you're hitting that, man. Appreciate that. Look at this sly guy, man. Said 88 Sports. Like I said, I thought Rant's got the bag. I was about to say, what? Twitch, YouTube, 888, yeah? Swear down. Is this what they're telling you? And then I clock you, man, are moving mad. Shout out to my guy Rants, man. You, man, you brought your banter, guys. I was about to swear there and get cancelled. Crazy. Not a way to say it. Man brought some madness. And like he said, follow up the thing, man. I was just about to close up this thing, but now I might just pre the situation. It's like the rave was dead, and then just Bear Galley must have just bust the corner, and now it's mad. All the man them are happy now. No one wants to leave, man. My guy Frim on Arsenal.com. So imagine what you lot are doing. I was just seeing Bear Arsenal man just coming through, thinking what's going on. I thought I was getting hacked the first time I saw. I think it's still out there somewhere. I thought I was getting hacked. I was thinking, yo, what's all these people going there? It's looking mad. They're gonna cancel me. What's going on, man? Nah, I don't want Arsenal to get sponsored by no betting company, man. Personally. To be fair, we was talking about Grealish. That's why the backdrop was there, man. You lot are mad though. DG, we came to see you kill flies on the street, mate. Bro, it's raining out here in the UK, man. No one's gonna dead today, man. It's all good. It's all good for them. They're living today. I'll be real. Too much, man. XHAKA signing up thoughts, DG. Banter, innit? Like, it is what it is. Like, trust me, shout Frimpong for that co-sign. It's banter, man. Obviously, for me, the scary thing with XHAKA signing new deals obviously flips things at Arsenal. Wait, now I think I'm getting hacked. Rant started doing a mad Rant. You done a lot still at 403. I'm not even on YouTube. Bloody hell. Bloody hell, bro. This is a mad. I don't know how to entertain you lot. You lot come at the end, man. A man said the backdrop is Arsenal fans becoming City fans already. Allow me, man. I can show you the timestamps, man. Like, we were speaking about neutral topics. I'm an Arsenal fan and I take the banter, but I was speaking about like Lukaku, Arsenal. What I see S here. We were speaking about United transfers in a couple of streams ago. I like to speak about general football, man. I like the banter, but at least it hold me accountable to things you need to hold me accountable for, man. You man are onto me for some madness. Yeah. If you want to entertain us, talk about whatever the hell you want. Appreciate that, man. I'll talk about football, bro. Man, ain't no Dave Chappelle for you, but it is what it is. And I'm seeing 400 people, bro. It is what it is. S, don't pipe up because your United boys are here now. You're not like that on your ones. You're one of them guys that act up in front of their brethren. You're not like that alone. You're not like that. Come on, man. Let's get to 1K followers, people, man. We're at 800 and some change, man. A man said DG signing with City on loan. No. To be fair, it could be something. I could go. I don't mind going to the. I would not mind going over to the European champions on loan. Nice all banter them and they are pagans, man. Yeah, Lukaku looks like he's joining Chelsea. 24 hours from now, I'm gonna put this live on YouTube, so you man will see it around them times there. But yeah, man, that's gonna be a good sign. And I do think in the next couple of years, Chelsea will look to upgrade on Lukaku because they're going to see him score goals. They're going to say, sadly, what is always being said about Lukaku is what's going to be said. Yeah, you score goals, but the general play, this, that, and the third. And it has improved a lot, but I genuinely think that is going to be a bridge that's going to be crossed at Chelsea. Man said, where do you think Arsenal finish? You're trying to set me up, man. Man, I've been typing it in the chat, in it. More of the same if things don't pattern up, man. Come on, my guy, D. I appreciate that. What do you think about Renato Sanchez being linked to Liverpool? Difficult one, really, because it's a bit like Thiago signing for them in that it's a good player, but how does he fit their system? And, for me, with Thiago signing, it flipped it on its head. It's like they need more technicians and people in their midfield, but how does he fit in? Like, how's it going to work? And for me, is he on the pressing and all of that? I think he is because I've seen it at Lyon, I've seen it from at Portugal, but these sort of guys that are not necessarily the conventional midfielders Liverpool have been using, they always concern me. But I think it's a good signing. I think he's a good signing. I'm sure he'd want to come back to the Prem because I bet you lot don't even better people don't even remember he's in the Prem at Swansea. And that, to be fair, Tammy had a poor loan at Swansea. Maybe you need to stay away from Swansea on loan unless it's in the Championship because he just got a move to Palace off the back of that still. So I think it could be a good signing. I'm sure Liverpool fans just want somebody in the club at that point. Anybody. Trust me, Rants with the through ball, man. We're playing his team on Sunday. If he wants to do a real through ball, tell them right wingers and left wingers to take a day off, man. Man City and Chelsea are levels. Trust me, S is playing up. He's not like that, man. He's not like that. No, I'm playing, man. Acting up for his brethren. The man there got no manners. Yeah, we'll get tired of him. And that's the thing. Like, fair enough, you spent 80 million on a goalie. You've been in these scenarios before. So if Chelsea need to move a man on, they will move a man on. But I don't know, man. Could it have been worth finding a striker that might not be to the level Lukaku is in terms of just goal scoring? And find someone with scope to become that striker so that you don't have that. Because the market, when you look at it at face value, there's not really a widespread amount of strikers about. So you could see how that is a thing. But, you won the Champions League. You need to pattern up. You need to sign players. You can't get complacent or it's downhill from there. I think Lukaku will do well. The general plays there. He'll score goals. Chelsea just needs someone, as I said at the start, that just puts the ball in the back of the net. Lukaku does that. And his general play has improved. But I do think they're going to come a time where they're going to speak about it because ironically, Werner's got all the other things on lock. He's, you know, he's a virgin around some pussy for the first ever time when he gets in the box, sort of thing. So there's some issues in that regards. And the wickedest thing is we don't know how long Thomas Tuchel's going to be there. I would like to see him be a long-term manager, but I'm sure Chelsea fans know how it gets at Chelsea. You're not doing the business, you're gone, man. Thoughts on Werner Lukaku? It will work well, in my opinion. You know, it will work well because Werner is not a bad player. He's just poor in front of goal. Lukaku's general play is better than people give him credit for, anyways, and he's improved it. So I think it will be decent. But for me, you know, Werner's got to really do something where at some point Chelsea are going to either make him a squad player or you're not going to play a lot, man. Renato Sanchez would fit in. What do you think about Inter Milan fan protesting to the board? I haven't seen any of that, so you're updating me on that. But I assume it's, you know, protesting, as you said. Not much you could do, but I would think about it. If you just won a league title, you've sold your key right back. Fair enough. You know, there's talk of Martinez going with Lukaku. Both won't go, but two of them three names I just said are going, and you don't know who's coming back in. And you know, as we kind of said with Chelsea, you've got to build upon what you've built upon after winning. And you're playing Juventus, who are gonna hit back because them and they win that league title 9 times out of 10 of recent, anyways. There's gonna be issues in that regard. So yeah, man, I understand them thinking that. Is it worrying Arsenal haven't been linked to any right backs? Of course, because what is the point signing Ben White, having Tierney, you know, trying to find a competent partnership with Gabriel if you don't know what's going on at right back? Yeah, you could say Chambers. If something happens to Chambers, what happens? You know, I don't think Chambers is bad. I don't think Cedric is bad. I don't think Maitland-Niles is bad. I think Bellerin is. You need to find one, but I don't think one's happening because you need to move on bare of them. In the best of days, you'd probably have three man contesting for one position. You know, if you can't move Bellerin on, if Maitland-Niles, which I think he will be moved on. If Lukaku goes to Chelsea again and wins Premier League / another Champions League, where does he stack with Drogba pound for pound? He's not got a scratch on Drogba for me. You know, I rate Lukaku. He's given a lot to his game, but in the footballing world, well, he can't talk to Drogba. Can't talk to Jogba because you know, people forget Jogba could lick him free kicks and them things there. Jogba was Mr. Finals and that. Like, I'm an Arsenal man, but Jogba is one of my favorite players. Like, you can't talk to Jogba. Jogba's the only guy with meaty consistently over a period in the league goal scoring stats that I'll let off. Jogba's serious, man. Make sure you're following on Twitch and make sure you're subscribed on YouTube if you're not already. I'm starting my FM streaming tomorrow, OJ. So make sure you're subscribed on Twitch. Not sure on the time. You will see that probably by tomorrow morning when I've tweaked a couple things. But you will see that, innit? You will see that. Arsenal should re-sign their old dons. They need them. Jovino on loan to counteract anti-football. Arteta ball some sauce coffee on some pants. Hey, man. 50 followers from 1,000. We're doing a madness. Doing a madness. If you haven't followed, please follow. Do you think Lukaku going to Chelsea affects us from getting Martinez? Surely they won't sell both. Why one? You said it there. I can't see them signing both. Any sane team that's just won a league title, unless they've got some heavy replacements lined up and they know what they're doing, it would be suicide. It would be nonsense. It's not gonna make you stronger after winning a league title. You know, it would not make sense, literally. My man said 290 people watching on Twitch. What happened? I'm happy for you. Rants with the free ball, man. Rants with the free ball. Make sure you're subscribing via Amazon Prime, as my guy said. And make sure you all, you know, we're trying to do the Twitch thing. We're almost getting to 1K, but we cheating the game, in it. Love to rants. We are cheating it up. Madness. The piece Chelsea are looking to spend on Lukaku, they may as well put in for Haaland. Apparently, they haven't even put in a bid for Haaland. That's what the Romano was saying. But, you know, I hear you. You might as well just throw another 60 and make it like 160. But there's bare variables beyond just signing a player. You know, they're and he's worth it, but they've ruined their wage structure. If you sign Haaland suddenly, you know, not everyone's gonna get Haaland peas. But if Haaland's going for that, anyone that's a key player, I'm saying, oh, cool. I want that. I know there's bread, but I might not get Haaland's thing, but I want this. And they might be a next guy of Haaland's stature or whatever that Chelsea want to get, and they have to give him the same wages. As you can see, this can become a bit unsustainable. Haaland is worth mashing things up for. Do not get it twisted, but there's a lot to consider. And you just know that Mino Ranola's going to eat. You know, with Haaland, that contract's getting patterned every year. You know, there's some bonuses there. You know, there's a lot of variables. Haaland is worth all these variables, but you get the point. There's a fee for his dad. See, there's a madness there. You know, I didn't even know his dad has a fee. That's a madness. But to be fair, everyone should be eating. You know, everyone's got to eat, really and truly. Subscribe to my YouTube account, people. Obviously, appreciate the plug, Prince. What other things have we got, bro? Pogba was certified, man. Bro, Lukaku's a bad boy, man. Unfortunately, if Lukaku moves, I don't think we would have any chance at Litoro. They have a tall young striker that can replace Lukaku, but only Alexis for the Litoro role now that Eriksen's done, bro. They need to get rid of Alexis. That's what they need to do. His dad wants like 40 mil. Psh, everyone's got to eat in it, bro. Well, I'm not being funny, but I put him into this world, didn't it? Like, he's got my genes. He's probably got 1-2 little bit of my footballing genes. I might as well benefit from this, innit? Might as well eat. Like, these clubs got money, like everyone pay. And again, that's the factors that they've got to consider. And it's how bad, you know, because clearly Roman Abramovich is on it, but at what cost does it become too much? Not necessarily related to the price tag. Only they can decide it, man. 40 mil though. Fucking hell. Love it if his dad's an Arsenal fan. You know, that's some bread for us, really. Man said Interboard don't give a damn about fans protesting. Sad but true, like most sports, really. Only when it gets too mad, there's an issue. No, I don't think so, man. But you know, how for Inter, it'd be a shame. They should be able to find some targets and things like that. Can I get a meal from the Haaland deal too? Trust me. Not old enough to see Jogba, but surely Rom is a more reliable striker over 38 league games. Based on the statistics, I probably can't argue with that. But for me, like I said, Jogba's an exception to the rule. I'm taking Jogba. I'm taking Jogba's 5 goals. Then 5 goals might be what actually decides the league, innit? Zapata would be a big signing for me. He's been doing bits in Italy for a while now. Surprised he hasn't quite got that move, man. Bro, Niles, come, man. You're better than that. The Alexis one has to die now. Like, he's finished. In relation to Arsenal and United and all these things. Is he permanent at Inter? You know, United need to give whoever got that move certified some peace because I didn't think they would get him off the wage bill, man. He was on a mazza. Absolute mazza. Interesting comments. Keep them coming, man. Yeah, you lot did that needed to go, man. Someone needs to be sacked for sanctioning the deal and someone needs to be praised and given a pat on the back for patterning that deal, if it makes sense. What actual amount of followers are we at? 961. We did a quick little boost, man. So, you know. To be fair, they probably can't afford to lose a patter, but money talks, man. Money talks. And Atalanta, like Sassuolo, they know how to find these little unknown gems and people get playing good and all of that stuff again. So I would back it. And money talks, man. Money, unfortunately, talks. Come on, let's get to 1K. Appreciate that. Atalanta want Tammy. Oof. That's a madness. Arsenal starting 11 for next season. I can't do it unless players come in. Then you'll get a starting 11 of players that are technically there. You know, if assuming nothing happens in the market, Leno, Chambers, Tierney, Ben White, Gabriel. I would say Lokonga and Partey, but realistically, XHAKA, Partey, Smith Rowe, Saka, Pepe on either side, and then you've got Aubameyang through the middle. Trust me, just finding random guys at Atlanta and making them good. United could get 40 mil plus a percentage if Lukaku goes to Chelsea, probably. But I'm sure just like with United and City's clause, once you want the player, it's irrelevant. It's what them man who get the P's have to do with it. You just go again sort of thing. Would rather we sign Asensio or Maddison. Would rather Maddison. You know, I like Asensio, but, you know, we need to see him look a bit more healthier for a prolonged period of time, man. Personally. Oh, the B side, folks. Let me scroll up because I missed a hell of a lot of things, man. Appreciate you for following, my dude. Appreciate that, man. Grealish finally on the biggest stage. Deserves it, man. One of the best players in the league needs to be at one of the best teams in the league and them things there. So it makes sense. It makes sense to sign with City. I'm keen to see what he's on in a City shirt. There's talk of him being used in an 8. In your opinion, in my opinion, do you think Grealish is worth 100 million? In today's day and age, you could do a lot worse. Obviously, transfer fees went a long way out of the window a long time ago. I think you could do a lot worse. It's not exactly 100 million up front in it. You're seeing some things online that is 70 and couple variables, couple things here and there, and then it becomes 100. City could do a lot worse, you know. It's only 50 more than that was allegedly paid for Sigurdsson to Everton. So there's that, man. Make sure you follow up the thing, man. Grealish kits are gonna pay that fee in like 3 months, just like Pogba. Ooh, I know there'll be a lot of shirts. I don't know if Grealish's global brand is to the stature of Paul Pogba, so I don't think they'll make a healthy profit. You know, definitely he's a star man, but I don't know if he'll clean up. You know, could you convince it? Who would you say would sell more shirts, Harry Kane or Grealish, or you know, would it be even? I really, I don't know in that regards. Let me actually go and let me actually see again. Not to make it about followers and things like that, but we do have to look. I'm not too sure, like you know, Pogba is with the, like on the Ozil thing in that regards. Like they're a brand. I don't know if Grealish is a standalone brand. 3.2 million followers. Again, I don't know if his brand is quite there. Bro, that's a madness. You know, paid for himself, and he's probably made. I would love to know how much Pogba has made for United in whatever variable and denominations, man. Kane has a bigger brand than Grealish at the moment. Brandon is nowhere near Pogba. This is what I'm saying. Like he's not gonna pay off them shirts, you know. Obviously United squad isn't where City's is, so it's not really fair. But Pogba's probably the biggest name in that squad. You know, you look at Grealish. Is Grealish the biggest name at Manchester City, or will he be? He probably isn't, because at this moment in time, Raheem Sterling's global brand is probably bigger. Kevin De Bruyne's one is up there. You know, I don't know. There's probably a couple of other names I could be missing out. He'd be in and around. I don't know if he'd be first there. Do you get it? So it is what it is. It's a difficult one there. But facts. Deluded, don't you think people are sleeping on Liverpool? We do need new signings, but all our players are coming back. Mane and Salah going to be fresh from having a long rest that they needed. Yeah, like I think, you know, personally, I think Chelsea, City and Liverpool fighting for the league title personally. But again, I do think you need some additions. I do think you lot have been kind of not doing that in that regards. But, you know, I do think it's going to be a serious fight for that top for that title, that top place. I feel like most teams outside the Prem has financial difficulty selling players is peak right now. Facts. Peak for everyone. This is why everyone's trying to, some more than others, but everyone's trying to be creative, offering swaps and just you know, seeing what could be done. It's interesting though. More than double United. So you see, yeah. So Grealish won't quite do that. He'll sell a lot of shirts, but you know, it's quite different. When it's Pogba and Ozil, you got little kids buying them shirts. You got grown men, you know, they're like with the namers and that. You got them religious guys. You got them guys that more time, you know, Ozil and Pogba, they probably guys that just support them. Like support them. They're not following United. They weren't following Arsenal. They're supporting them. Like they're not following PSG and that. They're following Neymar. Do you get? I don't know. Grealish, obviously, you know, you probably got 1-2 super fans, but I don't know if he's got that globally. You look at some of the other names I said, you know, there's probably young kids, big men, women, whatever, everybody, you know, people doing that sort of stuff. So it ain't gonna be there. It's gonna sell little shirts and he's English and them things there, but it is what it is. Ain't them man got AFCON? True as well, you know, that could be difficult for Liverpool. The African Cup of Nations throws a big spanner in the works. As you know already, it throws a massive spanner in the works. So how they react to that is an issue. So you're right, man. Liverpool are gonna flop, not reinvested well enough over the last 2 seasons. I think they've really needed to do that and not done it. But same way, they are holding on to players. There's talk of Alisson new deal. You know, you got Van Dijk and Gomez coming back. I'm sure there's talk of giving Salah and people new deals. I don't think they can give Firmino, Salah, and all of these guys new deals. Fabinho signed it as well. I actually think one of them front three might leave in a year, but I don't know. They only missed 2 games. Why is it only 2 games now? Is there a different restructuring of it? Apparently, they won't give Bobby a new deal. And to be fair with you, I think if Liverpool could sign a gunman striker and sign a creative man, there's not a need for that, really. A man said Grealish going to be the next James Bond. Fair play. You know, Grealish is living really, real Jack the Lad lifestyle, really and truly. So, yeah, Bobby's getting shagged. So, it's like I was saying, not everyone's going to get that new deal. By the time AFCON comes around, the Premier League will go into 2 weeks winter break. After that 2-week break, they should miss around 2-3 games max. I hear it. It doesn't sound like that much, but what if them 2-3 games are league title deciders in some people's cases or whatever? Zuma turned down West Ham. Crazy, man. That's unfortunate. You know, I think, you know, West Ham could have, if they could have grabbed Zuma and Tammy, that could have been lit signings for them. Still, if I'm completely honest with you. City are big in the Middle East, of course. Obviously, they should be. That's that man's backyard, be it really and truly. A City even have a global fan base that big. I think in the next decade they'll be global. They're growing, man. They're growing. Like obviously, I live in England, but I remember when I used to go to Jamaica as a little kid, you didn't see no Chelsea shirt and City shirt. You know, you obviously started to see City shirts. Now you got bare Man City fans, and I'm sure those of you that are from Africa or got family in Africa, and if not necessarily Africa or the Caribbean or North America or South America or Asia, these things are growing, and there's nothing wrong with supporting them clubs. Answering your question, then man, they are growing, and I think City's global reach is mad because you got to look at it now. You know, they've got a club in France, a club in Australia, all of these. You got to remember, there's the little kids that are just a fan of that team in France or a fan of that team in Australia. Obviously, City are going to be marketing. Naturally, you're going to gravitate towards that. You're going to become part of the City partnership group, was what they think they refer to it as, in my opinion, man. Big up DJ. I'll come through on your 11:30 a.m. stream tomorrow. People, that one there will only be on YouTube. That's at 11:30. I'll be back again on Twitch to do the only Twitch stream I'll probably do tomorrow is the FM content. Again, stay posted on the time. Nah, I'm happy with Ben White and Gabriel, but Zuma's not bad at all. When you win, your fan base increases. United and Arsenal were not established. Were not established with a massive fan base. Fair play. That's also a good point. Unsellable. Saka ain't got no price. You're not leaving. Can't answer that because I love the lad. Yeah, and that's going to get more fans as well, as it should, man. I heard Pep wants Grealish in the David Silva role. Well, that's a new one. You hear, allegedly, you've heard that. We read stuff earlier where it said they want him to do up Gundogan and that, you know. So it'll be interesting. And Grealish can do it all. And for Grealish, winning the title and them things there is one thing. But as a player, you should always want to improve. And at 25, I'm sure there's a lot he could work on. I'm sure there's a lot of specifics. And for me, when you look at Kevin, when you hear the way these players talk at City, as well as having ability, you'll see a bit of that from Grealish. So again, just to improve and get better and all of those sort of things is something that will entice him, in my opinion, as well. Crazy, man. Absolutely mad in that regard. What other things we got? Let's get one more question in, folks. Get that question in. It's almost 6 o'clock, bro. It's getting mad. Appreciate everyone who's just locked in, who's following the thing. You know, shout out to Rants once again for raiding the channel and all of those sort of things. You're asking me how long we can keep Saka, bro. How long's a piece of string? Because that's the one worry. The longer Arsenal keep doing this messing around thing, I look at Gabriel, Tierney. When the time comes, Ben White, Saka, Smith Rowe. At what point do you have to keep it moving? You know, because you're not going to stay here with there. Would you ever collab with Troops? Yeah. If he would reply to his messages and that, yeah, shout out to Troops, man. Why not? My guy is a cool guy in that, man. Why not? Sorry for repeating this, but I can't figure how to DM and posted this as the raid began. DG, if and when you get brave, you don't have to upgrade to the pro version that just gives you some more tools like VPN and crypto transaction security. The base download gives you the ad blocker and cookie blocker, which is likely what you need. Big up Pumpkin. I think that's all I need, my guy. I think that's all I need. Grealish getting that Pep upgrade, that's a scary sight. And it's it's the mentality change that could happen with Grealish, you know. What happens when he stops smiling? He just thinks goals and assists, goals and assists. I need to do this. You see, you hear the way they change, you know, and then you throw in Harry Kane and whatnot. It's crazy, man. When I was growing up in Australia in the 90s, it was all Man United, 2000s, a few more Arsenal, Chelsea. Well, in the 90s, it was all Man United. 2000s, a few more Arsenal, Chelsea, then Liverpool and City. Football took off after Australia made the World Cup, and now you see all different sorts of club shirts. Last question, what's your starting 11 against Brentford? Assuming nothing changes, personally, Leno in goal, Tierney on the left, Chambers on the right, Ben White and Gabriel in the middle, XHAKA, Partey. I know I'd want to start the Congo, but XHAKA, Partey, Smith Rowe, Saka, Pepe, Aubameyang through the middle. So, yeah, that would be it. But, yeah, man, big up to everyone that's here. If you're new to this thing, typically I'm streaming on YouTube at 11:30 a.m. And I'm starting to do separate YouTube, Twitch live streams as well. So, yeah, I'm Football Manager content, watch parties, Q&As. Q&As is typically on a Friday. Make sure you're looking at that. Hella content to come, people. So there's going to be a lot. So make sure you're subscribed on Twitch as well as YouTube. I appreciate Rants once again for the raid. If you're here for the first time, as I said, make sure you're following me on everything as well. You know, for the members and people that are part of this thing, check out the DG merch and things like that. As I said, make sure you're following on Twitch. This has been amazing, people. And like I said, I'm trying to build up the Twitch thing. So we're going to be doing this a lot. So, yeah, man, I'm going to hang around like a bad smell. I appreciate you guys, man. And if you're new here, you know, I don't just talk football. Every now and again, I might produce 1-2 little moments of brilliance. In fact, I don't even know if this is brilliance. I just scored a little decent goal. Don't know, man. You have to tell me, man. The ball was coming to me, and then I just had to dribble with it. I sold a dream. I lied. I fucking banged it. Keeper, no chance. Get out of it. DG, left back settings. Went on an adventure. That's what happens when fullbacks get to go on an adventure. I'll catch you up tomorrow.